Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first live stream of today. We are on the Southeastern High Speed in the Class 395. We are going to be going from St Pancras International to Faversham. It's been a while since I've been on this route, so if you remember, previously we had gotten the LGV Mediterranean in the sort of the way the releases came out, right? We got the LGV Mediterranean, which had a power changeover. There we go. And this also has a power changeover. The funny thing is that on the LGV Mediterranean you get a prompt and it'll tell you which buttons to push and when to push them, that sort of thing. But here on this route we don't get those prompts. You kind of have to remember it, and sometimes you will inadvertently mess up the power changeover. Anyway, we're gonna try our best here. To make sure, oops, we're not supposed to get under the way just yet. I was all ready to leave. There we go. Now I think we're all set for it. Yep. So you notice these two lights were on right here. I had to basically tell the system to put the pantograph up, even though right there our pantograph's up. So if you're doing this route, always check your systems, because you can easily, you think everything's set to go, but it's not. Okay? Always double check everything. So we are on it's two trains there. When we get to the next station here at Stratford International, we'll take a look and see if we have the other, as we all know, if you've been on this route, they have what they call the trainbow. It's got the Pride rainbow here on the front of the locomotive. It's become fairly rare to see. Let's see if we got. We'll just kind of let the train go by here. Nope, we don't have it on either one. Although on this one we do have the back Medway poster for the front, or for the other locomotive. For ours is kind of plain. So the back Medway was the other one that was kind of an updated livery thing that they added in, I think, at some point. I don't remember when though. But anyway, so we're on our way to Stratford International. We're gonna start. I think this is at least our first tunnel. We go through. I think there's another one later on. It's like I said, it's been more than a minute since I've been on here. Hello, Deadly Gamer. Welcome. Just saw your going to kind of get up in speed. And so there's some similarities to this in some ways, the way this is set up, and our and the LGV Mediterranean. You got this system up here that will tell you, you know, what the speeds are, that's your limit right there. Shows one on the it's here somewhere. Where it is. So let's see. Should have thrown on the lights. Okay, well, you'll be coming into Stratford here in a moment. So this is a very popular route when it first came out, like especially when the 465, I think it was released. Yeah, very, very popular route. Probably going to be just a smidge late coming in here. Morning, Patrick. How are you? Here we are. Alright, so we want to put on. Actually, if there's just like a reading light, that would be sufficient. There we go. That's all we need. We don't need everything else. See, That changes the illumination a little. Yeah, that should be sufficient, at least so we can kind of see around. There's the passenger areas. I don't think there's like a first class or second class. I think they all pretty much look the same. Well, this looks almost first class. I don't know. Okay, Ebbs Fleet International is next. I'm good, doing okay. I managed to get a brand new rail driver. Oh, nice. I've seen them. I've seen people talk about them, but I've never, like, you know, I guess that's mainly for PC players. Never. You know, people have often wondered, is it going to ever come to the console? And for all intents and purposes, I don't think it ever will. I mean, maybe it will eventually, in another year or two, especially with the next-gen consoles, but right now I can't see it happening. So, anyways. Yeah, that's perfect. We got a little bit of illumination here. That works out excellent. This does have a whistle. The depot. A two-tone horn. And the cool thing is we can ride outside in the tunnel, although it's kind of loud. You cannot roll down any of the windows, obviously, because of the high speed. So you'll notice if you look at the design of the 395, the windows are all, they're very thick, I guess, in order to accommodate for the high speeds of the train. You get like a little side window right here, I believe, but that's about it. Where's that? Yeah, there we go. So you have this little side window, but it's encased, as well as the window here on the door. So you can't, you know, it's not like in some of the other trains. Can't do them obviously on the 395 or the ice trains. You can't lower them because of the excessive speeds that you drive. All right, so Ebbs Fleet. Then we have Gravesend. So Ebbs Fleet is where we're going to do our power changeover. Now, if I remember correctly, you hold this down. I hit this once, and then again. The pantograph should lower, and then the power shoes basically will lower to make contact with the third rail for the remainder of our journey. Now, if you haven't gone and gotten the collectibles on this route, I can assure you from experience that there are no collectibles in the tunnels. There's some that are like right near the entrance or the exit of the tunnel, depending on which way you're going. But you don't have to run through the tunnel, because that's quite a long haul. So don't worry about that. But they are fairly well hidden, I can assure you. 395002 0000. We'll keep an eye out for the train bow. Maybe we'll have a train bow sighting. Now, I've known people who will, if they select service and they don't get the train bow, they will restart it and keep restarting it in the hopes that eventually they will get it. Anyways, so we have some nice flying planned for later on at 9 o'clock this morning, my time. We're going to do some aerial touring. Basically, we're going to take off and fly. Yeah, it is. Oh, for the rail driver, you mean? Yeah, I can imagine. So we're going to take off from the Bob Hope Airport, and then we're going to head over and check out the Griffith Observatory and the Hollywood sign, kind of fly around there for a little bit, and then we're going to pop out and go over to near Mount Rushmore and fly around near Mount Rushmore for a little bit. And then we're going to conclude with a flight between the gateway to the West Arch there in St. Louis. So we'll end that up tomorrow. Tomorrow's streams. So tomorrow we will be on, first stream will be on St. Pancras Grade. I know we just did it not too long ago for the 100th anniversary of EMD, but we're going to go back through, we're going to do a service with the AC 4400, we're going to do our step-by-step sort of putting together, you know, setting up the locomotive and everything. Now, I checked the services last night for the AC 4400, and there's one I can do that I don't think, quite honestly, that the AC 4400 ever had like banker locomotives at the back. You get, you know, the service I did was basically you had an AC 4400 and one SD40, and that's it, and you're doing an intermodal service. So there's a lot of weight that you got to get moving. It's possible to do it. It just takes a bit of patience. Part of it is getting the allowing the brakes to release down all the intermodal cars. It takes a bit of time because you got 50 cars, because it says 52, your train length is 52 cars, but it's your what am I trying to say here? Your engines aren't, you know, once those release usually fairly easily. It's everything else that doesn't release. So that's the tricky part. So we're going to go through all the setup and everything. Hopefully it's going to be a nice, relaxing journey. It's going to be it's early in the morning, so it's going to be a nice, clear like little, about 1:30 in the morning. Some nice moonlight maybe, but you can see the stars and all that. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to hop over when we go to Flight Sim. We're going to do a flight in the 737 MAX. Now we're going to try a flight, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we don't run into any major issues. We're going to have a nice flight, and we're going to go from Gatwick to, there's a larger airport near Milan that we're going to fly to. That shouldn't take very long to do. Okay, so now we got to change the power. We got to hold. Okay, there's that. That got lit up. 1, 2. So the pantograph should be down. Pantograph is down, so we should be good to go for our power now. And here's the shoe that's made contact with the third rail, basically right there. So we should be good to go. Now the rail does alternate, I do believe, so you got shoes on both sides, so that if the third rail power, you'll always be able to draw power from one way or another. So let's see if we got this right. I don't think I did. We're going to find out here in a moment. Yep, I sure did. Ta-da! We got power. Not bad. Not bad for not having done it in a while. That could have gone horribly wrong. So yeah, we're doing Gatwick to Beaupont or something like that. So it's about an hour and a half flight. Shouldn't take very long to do. So yeah, we'll do that. And then Sunday, of course, Sunday there will not be any Train Sim World 2 live stream. When I get on at 6:30, we're gonna fly. We're gonna do basically kind of like a red-eye flight from Sacramento to Chicago O'Hare. It may be in the 737 MAX or the A320. It's going to depend on how tomorrow's flight in the 737 goes. That's going to be the key. So if it goes well, then we may try that on Sunday. We'll see. And then next Saturday, the 2nd of October, we are going to do, there won't be a train simulator stream that day either. We are going to do a flight, it'll be like a red-eye flight from San Francisco to JFK in the Dreamliner. Now that's about a 4. It says when I created it, oh boy, I made it speeding, and I was not paying attention. Jeez. I totally missed that. That's my bad. Well, at least we're stopping. We're a little short of our marker, but that's okay. We got here on time, actually. Yep. So, yay us, but yeah, I totally spaced on that speeding, or that speed limit. So yeah, we're going to do a red-eye flight from in the Dreamliner from San Francisco to New York. That's going to be about I think it's a 5-hour flight, but with the weather off, I think we might get there a little bit quicker. Now, the interesting thing is, I always thought when a plane left if you had a non-stop flight from San Francisco to New York, the plane went kind of far north to it did that kind of a curve. It got up in altitude, and then, that was like their quickest way to get to New York. This seems to be almost not a straightforward flight, but it doesn't give me this. It never gave me the sense that we would fly, like closer to like or into Canada and then back down and then come into our approach for JFK. So, but we'll see how we get on with that. We're going to give that a shot, and hopefully we do okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do not have any crashed dashboards or system failures of any kind or anything like that. Strood is next. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed that we don't have any issues like that. Now, what always surprised me, now when I think of high-speed service, I would think this would be like a non-stop service from London or St Pancras International all the way out to Faversham. Because it seems to me a bit of a waste of train, because it's almost like we're doing a S-Bahn stopping. We're stopping it at almost every station now. It doesn't seem like we're really utilizing a high-speed train system very well. But that's my thoughts on the matter. Anyways, that's just kind of some long-term plans. We will kind of throw in some more of the aerial tourism. I still want to fly around Lorette de Mar. I can find an airfield probably a little bit closer to there and fly in and just kind of tour around and see the area. I also want to do one of Heilbronn, where I was stationed at in Germany. And then we'll start to maybe do some of the bigger cities, kind of, maybe. Maybe you can fly around Denver, for instance, or Kansas City, well, we did do somewhat of Miami, but we can do Miami for sure again. Because even though there's not many points of interest, but we can just kind of enjoy the scenery and such, something like that. So the Monday, I've got a nice flight planned. I think for we're gonna go into Venice, Italy. from another airport. I think it's still in Italy, but I might be wrong. But anyway, we're going to fly in there, and that's, I think, a 45-minute flight, give or take, if I remember correctly. I was kind of tinkering around in Flight Simulator last night, kind of planning some things ahead. So we'll do that, and then I think on Tuesday we're going to we'll go back to Spain, or maybe we'll go to France. Yeah, we'll go to France, and then we'll fly around France for a while, and then you know, kind of find some nice little airports to take off and land from. We may, if they're not ones where we can utilize the 350i and the autopilot and everything, then we may go back to the Cessna 152 and just do VFR flying and just enjoy that for what it is. You know. So, hello, Milla. Good morning. How are you? I was speaking of Amilla. So the other day I was in Joe's stream. He was on he was doing like, it was over 2 hours on one of the lines there that he has on Train Sim on the PC version. And I see, it's kind of strange not seeing Amilla in the chat. I think everybody got used to seeing you there, and then, so, yeah, good to see you. What else did the crazy guy, crazy sir? Oh, hello. So yeah, kind of strange not seeing you in the chat on Joe's streams. You missed it though. We were trying to convince Daniel to hello, Mick. Well, he was like, yeah, it is. Even Daniel's like, yeah, it does seem a bit strange. I think everybody got used to you being there. And we were trying to, Daniel woke up a second time to, he was watching the stream, and then he said he was having some dairy milk, and then he said, I said, oh, are you having biscuits? He's like, no, the biscuits are downstairs. And even Joe was like, well, go get some biscuits, Daniel. You know you want to. They're calling you. Daniel, we need you. So, yeah, it's good stuff. Okay. So, yeah, it was a good laugh. So, but yeah, it's not the same without you in there. That's for sure. But nice to see you, Mick. Welcome. Mick had an epic couple drives between Bakerloo line and the Cologne to Aachen route in the Talent 2. He was certainly testing my patience in a way. Not that he meant to. But I think I was screaming at the computer so loud I think my neighbors might have started to wonder what I was doing. Okay, your 6 pit bulls are barking at 6 a.m. Oh, sorry to hear that. So yeah, but he got some golds, which is what his goal was, so he's trying to finish up a bunch of stuff to get the platinum, which is a massive undertaking, quite honestly, but it's doable. I think he's got a good plan to just bouncing between the two routes. Although I think it might be easier to do one for a little bit and then the other, because bouncing between the two, that takes a little bit of time to, after yesterday, I'll try to pop in whilst at work. Well, I mean, it's not, you know, you have your obligations at work, and that's just the way it is. And, you know, I think everybody recognizes that. You know, well, at least the mature people recognize that. But the fact that, you know, you shouldn't feel like you have to do that, because it's, you know, you have your work obligations. It's just, you know, it's something that's noticeable when there's not, your presence isn't in the chat. It's something that's noticeable. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah. Now, I think Pete I don't know if Pete was lurking and just was keeping an eye on things, or, you know, there certainly wasn't much of a mod presence, as we used to always say. But you know, that's Joe's decision too, or if he feels that, you know, things are okay the way they are. But yeah, like Pete could have been watching too, keeping an eye on things in case anybody got out of hand. Alright, coming into Strood. Semi-famous for the submarine there that I guess you can tour. I guess you can, or maybe you can't. I don't know anymore. But, anyways. And then from here we are on to Rochester. He always lurks. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Sometimes he'll speak up, and other times I think he just kind of sits back and sees how things are going to go. If he has to go in and say something. But there was one person, and I should have screenshotted it for you, Amilla. One of the things I notice is that a lot of people, they don't like to hear the word no, or that plans do not include them. And I'm not going to name the person who was doing this, but there was somebody in Joe's chat yesterday who was inquiring about Joe, when was he going to stream Bus Sim 21. Now, Joe explained it that he was going to do another career video that premiered earlier this morning for me, and this person really wanted to was trying to encourage Joe to live stream it instead, and all that. And it was like, no, at first it seems like they wanted to do multiplayer with Joe, and then Joe said, well, I'm doing this, I'm just going to record the video so it can premiere when I'm either preparing to go to school or I'm at school. And that person could not accept that reality. And what I notice is that, you know, and I talked about this before in my streams, is that people get this some strange sense of connection out of nowhere with somebody, and they want to be involved in everything that person does. And when you say, hey, I don't, that's not how this is going to go. No, it was somebody else, Amilla. It was somebody else. I think they're a fairly new viewer, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so yeah, it started to get, hello, Ohio. It became kind of it was getting to the point where it was getting a bit, like, uncomfortable. I don't think Joe was, but I was starting to feel like, okay, this person is not accepting that Joe has made his decisions, and that's that, So, yeah, it was very odd. Are you streaming on YouTube or? Yes, I am crazy. Yes. I've got, I'm streaming here on Twitch, and then it goes through Aircast to my YouTube channel. So that's why you're hearing me talk to different people. Anyway, so yeah, it's very, it was very odd. It was almost to the point that it seemed like it was very unhealthy sort of thinking. So yeah, I was going to try to reason with the person. I even asked Joe, do you play multiplayer off stream kind of thing? I don't think he does, except with maybe with Pete, if he does with anybody. So yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of awkward. I think you probably, if you had been there, I think you would have, tried to kindly remind the person that, hey, the Joe's got his plan, and you need to respect that kind of thing. So I was going to try to do that, but I couldn't. I didn't. Yeah, I think everybody does. If you stream something, you get those people who they become, in a way, like they're enamored with the person, and they don't. When somebody says, "Hey, I've got my plans. I'm sorry, but those plans don't include you," they kind of lose their maybe. I mean, I guess, yeah, you probably would have, but, it wasn't like they were getting too, maybe it's just my viewpoint was, if I had been the person, or if I'd been in Joe's shoes, I would have started to feel uncomfortable, like this person isn't willing to accept, what I'm trying to say. And if if it persists, then yes, I'm going to have to, I'm going to instruct a mod to take action and time you out, to give you a moment to think about what you're doing. So yes, but Joe's usually, I think he kind of brushes that stuff off a lot easier than most people do. It doesn't affect him the same way. Other people, I think it starts to get, that person, it's like they're getting very pushy. And when that happens, they, there's a 495. I think that's, I may have misnumbered that. It may be a 465. Yep, 465, not 495. My bad. I almost got that wrong. Luckily, I corrected it. So, yeah, I think that's the, For me, it started to make me feel uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. And it's not my channel, but that's just, you know. And I was going to try to reason with the person. Yeah, if you get this route, this is certainly a worthy add-on to 465. Sounds very good. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we get a lot of like I said, I was going to try to reason with the person, but then I thought, no, it's not even. They were zoned in on Joe, and they weren't willing to hear that Joe had his plans. And I think sometimes that can be, it can lead to, it's a bit dangerous, you know. But anyways. But yeah, I think you would have tried to reason with the person first, Amela, and then if they weren't willing to hear, you know, hey, this isn't how this works, then maybe you would have had to time them out, because they may have not been wanting to hear from a mod that their behavior was getting a little too creepy. You know, we've had somebody like that. You know, not well. No, have we? Maybe early on, maybe I did. I don't know. I usually, you know, I think, you know, you try to just be firm and direct with somebody and say, hey, I get, you know, I appreciate your willingness to, Gillingham is next. Not Gillingham, Gillingham. You know, but it's, yeah, it can be very off-putting when somebody, it's like the beginnings of stalker-like behavior. That they hope that if they push the streamer enough, that the streamer will finally relent and go like, okay, fine, I'll play with you. Jeez. You know. But, yeah, very, not very healthy behavior. But then again, I'm not a psychologist. I just play them on TV, as the saying goes. And I think part of it too is people are, they need that. Yeah, he is, and I respect that. I just, you know, but that's, you know, it's his channel, and he does things how he wants to do it, and you know, that's perfectly fine. You know, had I been if I had a spanner, I would have, you know, I would have engaged that person and tried to get them to understand that their behavior is not, like, acceptable, and hope that they, you know, can understand the, you know, what we're trying to tell them is like, hey, you need to just take a breath. You need to accept that the streamer has said that they have their plans, and unfortunately those plans do not include you. If you can't handle that, then we're going to have a problem. You know, are we going to have a problem, or are you going to accept my plan? It's going to be one or the other. There's no in between. So, anyways, so yeah, I should have screenshot it and sent it to you, and you could have had a chuckle about it later on. But, anyways. So this service does go on to Ramsgate after we stop at Faversham. That's why we see Ramsgate on here, not Faversham. So, yeah. But anyways, so yeah, we will be wrapping up once we get to Faversham. which is in, we got Raynham, Sittingbourne. So we got 2 more stops, and then Faversham will be our final stop, and we'll be wrapping up the stream. Have a nice little break between streams, and we'll be back at 9 on Flight Simulator. I totally did not mean to do that. So we will be, once again, as I said earlier, if you missed it, we'll be doing some aerial tourism. Have some fun with that. We'll be wrapping up that stream for the day. Tomorrow, Sandpatch Grade in the AC 4400. Mick, I think I got a good service that you can take some notes. And then we'll get that completed, and then we'll pop over to the 737 and fly from Gatwick to a larger airport near Milan, Italy. That should be a nice little flight. And then Sunday, we're doing a red-eye flight, no train sim. Red-eye flight from Sacramento to Chicago. I'll say happy birthday to my mom. Of course, she will not be in the stream, but I will record it, send her a link, and if she can ever watch it at some point or another, so be it. Ta-da. Plus, it'd be way too early in the morning for her to get up and watch the stream live. So, anyways, let me get a few thumbs up in the YouTube stream, por favor. Greatly appreciated. Even 1 thumbs up. Can we get 1? How about that? We'll start with 1. Some people, yeah, you're right, absolutely. Yeah. There's more than a few people, I think, in his stream that feel that way. Yeah, I agree, Crazy. I agree. You just want to. My whole intent is to try to have some fun, be a bit entertaining, be a bit, point out some things that I know, places I've been and such. But, yeah, it can be, you have people who kind of lock in on some things and they want to be a part of it. When you say no, they don't quite handle that very well. If I get people like that, it's not even going to be a warning. I'm going to try to tell you one time, and then if you persist, then it's going to be like, well, then obviously I have to ban you from the channel. There we go. 1 like. There we go. Stalk your girlfriend. Oh, yeah. God forbid if that's the next step that people are going to do with Joe's girlfriend. I don't think that would go over very well. But, yeah, people just don't handle. I don't know. I don't want to say it's so much rejection, but I guess that's like the closest thing. They don't handle that rejection very well. I guess. Alright, stopping here. I think we're going to end up with the silver, but we'll see. So I greatly appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. We got 5 viewers over on Twitch. We got 3 people over here on YouTube. So yeah, good stuff. So, then it went down to 2 now, just as I said that, of course. Somebody's like, oh, I don't want to be amongst the 3. Can't be asked. It's okay. Alright, we are currently at Raynham. Sittingbourne will be next. And then we'll be wrapping up at Faversham. So. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We do try to do Train Sim World 2 daily. Although when we are flying longer flights, Train Sim World 2 will take a back seat, so to speak. And we will fly a little bit longer. Of course, I'm looking, the one on the 2nd will be kind of easier for me to do because I'll be able to have some snacks and stuff nearby, so I can keep an eye on everything. I think, unfortunately, some of the times there's been problems if your game goes into pause, then it messes everything. So what would be the best way for me doing the I think, Mick, if you stick with one route, either Bakerloo and you just do, say, 3 services. That way you're not bouncing back and you're spending that time going between the 2. Just pick, go from one service to the next one. So say you go on Bakerloo, you go from one end to the other and then back again. And then one more time. And then that's 3 medals right there. So I'm heading out, need to give. Oh, okay. Well, take care, crazy guy. So I think that might be the best one. But I mean, your way might be okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what would be the best use of the time. Because it seems like, okay, if you have like 3 hours, right? If you're going to stream for 3 hours, if you focus on one route one time and then the next time you go, so let's say you start on Bakerloo, you do three services on Bakerloo, you get 3 golds there. Next time you do 3 services on the Cologne-to-Aachen route in the Talent 2. I think that might maximize your time the best. But also, you just say, hey, I'm going to do these 3 services, and then, that might be sufficient. But at the same time, that's a lot of... You're going to end up doing a lot of streams one way or the other to get to the point of getting all your goals. That's a pretty massive undertaking. But I mean, again, I think it's doable. But how to maximize the time that you have in order to do it. Now, what we could do, kind of like what I was saying in your stream the other night, Nick, is, we can do, if I can go on the Cologne-to-Aachen route, for instance, right? And we can just do the service together. I'll stream it, and I'll pick the service, and you find it on your list, and we'll just go through it together. That way, you're completing it. It may not. It's only one service, right? But at least then, it's like we're going to be kind of playing along together. If that helps, if that will help, we can do that. it may not be, of course, it can't be every stream, but you know, if once in a while, or you know, I can stream it and we'll work through it together, or on St Pancras grade, for instance. Kind of like tomorrow, if you want to follow along with me, you can, or if you just want to take notes on the setup of the AC 4400, you're more than welcome to. You know, I'm not. We don't have to rush anything either. Whatever I can do to help you out, I'm willing to do it. So yeah, just because I think a lot of times it's you get when you're bouncing between the different lines, you tend to forget things, or you know, you're losing track of what's happening or whatever. And it's, you know, if you just focus on one route, and just that way you get comfortable with it, and then you know, okay, yep, I remember this signal. I know, you know, I gotta slow down here, whatever. I gotta keep, you know, watch this, watch that. You know, then it becomes a little bit easier for you to keep track of things. Yeah, that's my suggestion, but you don't, you know, it's up to you. You know, certainly, I could also understand doing, you start off in Bakerloo, go to the German route, Bakerloo, you know, like you're trying to break it up a little bit so it doesn't seem so monotonous either. So, but it's your, you know, that's my advice, but that's, you know, of course it's your decision how you want to do it. Or you could, you know, you could pull a Joe and go like, I'm going to do 8 hours on Bakerloo, like a normal driver would. And you just go back and forth. Oh, yeah, no problem, Nick. You know, I'm happy to help you out. Try to answer questions. Although there was some things that were happening that just, there was no like reasonable explanation for what was going on. So I don't know, but. Oh, of course I'm happy to help you out, man. You're absolutely welcome. I think after a while, it seemed like Bex went to bed, didn't even say goodnight. It was like, oh, I think the guys are kind of... Neither Bex nor Sue said goodnight. They just kind of like just disappeared into the evening. Yeah, and I get that sense, Mick. And yeah, I can understand that. That's why I said my suggestion would be, but I also understand the concept of if you're going between the two, it kind of keeps things interesting. So if that's the most comfortable way for you to do it and all that, by all means, do what you got to do. Yeah, a lot of the stuff I was doing, I just would. Joe, for instance, would be streaming. I'd just like, oh, he's on this route. Okay, let me get in there and do this service with him. You know, and that's how I learned. You know, so. But no, if that's your plan, that's your plan. Far be it for me to try to get you to change it. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'll respect that. I was just trying to think of ways to maximize your efforts. All right, departing Sittingbourne on our way to Faversham. But yeah, I got the sense after a while, like Bex wasn't saying much anymore, neither was Sue, and it was like they just kind of disappeared. It was just you, me, Pulse, and Predator. And Chris, I think, popped in for a moment, but even he left. So, are you guys doing the trucking tomorrow? The long distance haul, Nick? You, Pulse, and Chris, I think? Or is that tonight? I think you guys said it was going to be Saturday, but I can't remember. And I should say, you know, if anybody's watching this on the replay, if you are having troubles on a route, and I can do a service on the route within reason, of course, that you can, you know, kind of play it along with me, I'm willing to do that. You just have to, you know, leave a comment saying I'm struggling on. More ideas, the better, and I will try that and see what happens. If I don't try, I won't know if it works. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was just a thought, but I also understand the concept of trying to keep things interesting for anybody. Trucks tomorrow, okay. That's why I thought. I wasn't 100% sure. So yeah, if anybody's got, if they're struggling on a route, or just want me to, or not so much like a viewer choose route sort of thing, but if you say, hey, can we do a service on this route one day, and that way I can just kind of go along with you and, you know, make sure I'm covering all the basics and not missing anything or whatever. I'm struggling with setup. Hey, I've got a lot of videos on a lot of different routes, but I'm willing to do it live so that you can work through it with me. So yeah, I'm more than happy to help out. You know, because it's not easy when the answers aren't always forthcoming as to what's going on. So, you know, if you want to work through it with me, or, you know, if you'd say, hey, can we do this service, I'd be happy to try to help out. Try to do that. But I know one of the big ones that most people struggle with is sand patch grade, the AC 4400 setup. So we're going to go over that tomorrow. So if anybody wants to wants to pop in and watch that stream tomorrow, first thing 6:30 in the morning, you're more than welcome to. Go over. We're going to do a little bit step by step, at least how I would set things up. Try to help people get going on the sand patch grade. Sometimes it's not always easy. Alright, it's coming into Faversham. We'll have about an hour, just over an hour break to our next stream. Appreciate everyone coming in and hanging out this morning. But yeah, it'd be a nice, clear 1:30 in the morning, I think, is when the service starts. The service for St Pancras next, so some nice clear skies. Will go well with that nice scenery there on St Pancras. I don't know how. Wonder how Daniel got on with his run in the snow on St Patch last night. Show going for platinum. Yeah. No, that makes sense, Mick. I can appreciate that. And I did look to see how many miles I have walked in the game, and I don't know where to find that information anymore. Like, it shows me how many miles I've driven on a route, but not the miles walked. I know I've got quite a few miles walked. I know it's well over 100, that's for sure. Marker's probably not in the right place or something. I forget. Did it? Oh, it didn't give me the. Wow, it didn't. It didn't say I was stopped. There we go. That was kind of odd. No, I don't think we're all the way. No, we are not. So that marker, I think, is off. We should have stopped farther up. I think, like up, closer to where that bridge is, right there. But oh well. Let's see how we fare with the points at the end. I'm guessing silver, but we'll see. Sometimes I'm surprised, sometimes I'm not. I'm guessing silver, but we'll see. So we are on platform 3. Should be a number there. Yep. There it is. Lock the doors. And we got the silver. Yay, us. Okay, take care, Amela. Have a good day. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. We're going to have our little break, and that's going to be it for now. We'll see you in about an hour. Microsoft Flight Simulator aerial touring. So, yeah, there we go. Should be fun. Anyway, take care. Enjoy the rest of your morning. I will